Alternative words. What does that mean? Alternative. Alternative means another way. It could mean another way of doing something or another way of saying something. So, alternative words are another way of saying a word which has a similar meaning. We call alternative words synonyms. That's a funny sounding word, isn't it? Synonyms. Can you try saying synonyms? Synonyms. Okay, so when we're talking about alternative words, we are talking about synonyms. So let's take a look and see what are synonyms. Here is a picture of an elephant. The elephant is big. So, what are some other words that we could use that mean big? Can you think of any other words that mean big? We could say huge. We could say enormous. We could say gigantic. So, all of these are synonyms for big. They're words which have a similar meaning to big. Huge, enormous, gigantic. They all have a similar meaning to big. These are synonyms. They all mean big. So here is a mouse. The mouse is very small. Can you think of any other words that have a similar meaning to small? We could say little, or we could say tiny. So, alternative words for small or synonyms for small are little and tiny. Little and tiny have a similar meaning to small. So in this video we are going to be learning synonyms for different words. When we learn lots of words, it gives us a rich vocabulary. Yay! No, not money rich. Oh, a rich vocabulary means knowing lots of words. So when you have lots of words in your brain that you can use, we say you have a rich vocabulary. So, let's get going and learn some synonyms. Can you read this word? Fun. So let's take a look at some alternative words for fun, or some synonyms. Words which have a similar meaning to fun. Are you ready? Witty, amusing, pleasant, enjoyable, jolly, bubbly, entertaining, merry, boisterous, lively. So all of these words are synonyms for fun. They have a similar meaning to fun. Witty, amusing, pleasant, enjoyable, jolly, bubbly, entertaining, merry, boisterous. They all have a similar meaning to fun. lively. So let's take a few examples of these words and learn how we would say them in a sentence or write them in a sentence. Amusing. How could I use the word amusing in a sentence? Here is an example. My teacher makes me laugh. She is very amusing. My teacher makes me laugh. She is very amusing. Let's take a look at another word which is similar to fun. Enjoyable. How could we use enjoyable in a sentence? We spent an enjoyable afternoon at the park. We spent an enjoyable afternoon at the park. Let's take a look at another synonym for fun. Bubbly. I like that word, bubbly. So we could put bubbly in a sentence like this. My best friend has a bubbly personality. My best friend has a bubbly personality. So amusing, enjoyable, and bubbly, they all have a similar meaning to fun. Happy. Right, let's take a look at some synonyms for happy. Words which have a similar meaning to happy. Are you ready? Glad, merry, pleased, thrilled, jolly, delighted, cheerful, jubilant, overjoyed, ecstatic. So all of these words have a similar meaning to happy, glad, merry, pleased, thrilled, jolly, delighted, cheerful, jubilant, overjoyed, ecstatic. All of these words are synonyms for happy. So how would we use some of these words in a sentence? Let's take a look at this word, thrilled. Remember, it has a similar meaning to happy. How could I use thrilled in a sentence? When I'm talking or if I'm writing? I'm thrilled to win this award. I'm thrilled to win this award. It means I'm happy to win this award. Thrilled. I like this word. Marvelous. Marvelous. How could we use marvelous in a sentence? We had a marvelous time at the party. Marvelous. We had a marvelous time at the party. Wonderful. You did a wonderful job. You did a wonderful job. Let's move on to another word. Can you read this one? Nice. So, what are some alternative words for nice? Some synonyms for nice. Words which have a similar meaning to nice. Enjoyable, pleasant, good, excellent, lovely, fantastic, marvelous, delightful, wonderful, fine. All of these words have a similar meaning to nice. Enjoyable, pleasant, good, excellent, lovely, fantastic, marvelous, delightful, wonderful. They all have a similar meaning to nice. And fine, of course, fine has a similar meaning to nice. So let's take a few of these words and see how we would use them in a sentence. Excellent. I did excellent in my test. I did excellent in my test. Lovely. The children have lovely manners. The children have lovely manners. Jubilant. The football fans were jubilant when their team came out. The football fans were jubilant when their team came out. Or we could say the football fans were jubilant when their team won. Jubilant. Let's move on to another word. What is it? Sad. So let's take a look at some words which have a similar meaning to sad. Some synonyms for sad. Unhappy, gloomy, depressed, sorrowful, down, miserable, bitter, glum, blue, dreary. All of these words have a similar meaning to sad. They are synonyms for sad. Unhappy, gloomy, depressed, sorrowful, down, miserable, bitter, glum, blue. These are all words which have a similar meaning to sad and dreary, of course. So, gloomy. The weather is cloudy and gloomy today. The weather is cloudy and gloomy today. Down. My friend was feeling down, so I cheered him up. My friend was feeling down, so I cheered him up. Glum. Don't be so glum. Things will get better soon. Don't be so glum. Things will get better soon. So gloomy, down, and glum, they all have a similar meaning to sad. We said, the weather is cloudy and gloomy today. My friend was feeling down, so I cheered him up. Don't be so glum. Things will get better soon. Let's move on to another word. What is it? Bad. So here are some other words, some synonyms, which have a similar meaning to bad. Unpleasant, awful, terrible, ghastly, evil, dreadful, dire, abysmal, grim, horrible. All of these words are synonyms for bad. They have a similar meaning to bad. Unpleasant, awful, terrible, ghastly, evil, dreadful, dire, abysmal, grim, horrible. They all have a similar meaning to bad. So, let's take a look at horrible at the top here first. What's that horrible smell? What's that horrible smell? Ghastly. You're making a ghastly mistake. You're making a ghastly mistake. You're making a bad mistake. You're making a ghastly mistake. And the last word is terrible. There's nothing more terrible than having bad manners. There's nothing more terrible than having bad manners. Okay. Which of those words were your favourites? Shall I tell you mine? I like the word bubbly. Bubbly, it has a similar meaning to fun. Boisterous. Boisterous has a similar meaning to fun. Jubilant. Jubilant has a similar meaning to happy. Jubilant. I'm feeling very jubilant. The football fans were very jubilant that their team won the game. Jubilant means happy. Marvellous. Marvellous has a similar meaning to good. Marvellous. Those are some of my favourite words. And I like witty. Witty has a similar meaning to fun. Witty. When something is funny and makes us laugh, we can say it was very witty, or it is very witty. Right. Learning lots of words gives us a rich vocabulary. Vocabulary means words. A rich vocabulary means knowing lots and lots of words.